Hey everybody, Jason Blaha here, and it is time for part 3 of the Monday Q&A, so let's do it. Best exercises to replace deadlifts for people with herniated discs. Alright guys, I'm getting kind of sick of saying this, but I guess I need to continue to repeat it. If you have a major medical issue or you have a back problem, do not, and I repeat, do not ask anybody on the internet for advice who has not shown you evidence that they are a physical therapist who specializes in sports recovery and specializes in athletes, particularly strength athletes. If you ask me, if you ask Chris Jones, the Hodge twins, Eric Helms, anybody else on YouTube, this sort of advice, you're going to fuck yourself up for the rest of your life. And if they give you advice, they are a bad person because they are responsible for fucking you up for the rest of your life. Do not ever ask people on the internet this. You go talk to a physical therapist who specializes in sports rehabilitation. Do not ask me these sort of questions. Because if I answer this question for you, I am running the risk of paralyzing you for the rest of your fucking life. And if you take my advice, you're a fucking idiot. Now, that being said, next question. Can you please talk about the implications of a sleepless night on the hypertrophy and recovery? Yeah, if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're having problems with insomnia, you better find a way around it. You need to learn to unwind, you need to learn to rest, relax, turn off all the lights and electronics, anything that will put light in your room, get darker curtains, turn a fan on, get the temperature down in your room. You need to get yourself to learn to sleep better, or it is going to negatively affect your recovery and your gains. It will negatively affect hormone levels, it will negatively affect memory, cognition, it will negatively affect muscle growth and strength. It's not optional. If you're serious about your gains, you will find a way to fix this with simple methods I listed, or you go see a doctor, or you try melatonin or something else, because if you're not getting enough sleep, you will absolutely inhibit your gains from your training. Not saying you won't make any gains, but they will dramatically slow. So this is a real problem. But 95% of cases of insomnia are actually environmental, meaning you're staying on your computer or your cell phone late at night, or you have a cell phone where you can get up and text and see that artificial light hit your eyes, which absolutely affects your REM cycles. It affects your melatonin production. It's a bad thing. You need to stay in a pitch black room with no lights when you're sleeping. Get as darker curtains or do whatever you have to do. If you have to turn your cell phone off, do that. Turn your alarm clock to where you can't see it if you wake up in the middle of the night. But you need to be in a dark room and it needs to be cool. And you need to learn to not use electronic devices right before you try to go to bed. All right, last question. My mother has osteoporosis. She's only 55 years old, so it hasn't gone very far. What kind of training regimen would you recommend her to strengthen her bone structure and muscles? Yeah, you need to put her on some sort of basic strength training program. I'd like to see her squatting, deadlifting, overhead pressing, maybe doing rows, plus some core work. Any basic strength program will work, some variation of strong lifts or starting strength, anything like that. But the thing that you need to remember is that you need to spend a month or two working with her, learning basic technique, working on her flexibility and mobility, because at 55 with some osteoporosis already, she probably is not going to have the mobility or the strength or the support structure in place to even do these lifts correctly with a broomstick. So you're going to have to spend some time building her up to that and strengthening her core particularly for a month or so before you can even consider putting her under a real weight. And she needs to progress very, very slowly. Now, she can still get strong. A case in point, I have an aunt right now who I got to start training at 55. She's 63 right now. She just competed in the CrossFit Games and she deadlifted 260 pounds after 8 years of training at 63 as a female. And she started very, very weak. But the thing is that you have to start her very slowly, and you will see, if you start her even really slow and you do it safely, you'll start seeing some reversing in her osteoporosis in 6 to 12 months. And also you need to make sure she's getting a vitamin D3 supplement. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you next time.